we've got like all sorts of things going on over Catonsville. Of course, my partner in crime, Don Moeller, former Baltimore County executive, but I know him as my high school guidance counselor over at Dundalk High from Catonsville in his Catonsville homeland. And no shock that Baltimore Positive is moving up the street in Catonsville to Jennings Cafe and Yumps. And Steve Iampieri's here, longtime a golf coach over at Calvert Hall on the backside of the U.S. Open in Pebble Beach and all that stuff. But more than that, on the front side of the Catonsville 4th of July Festival, do they got chairs out in front of your place already? I've been joking around. I know we're coming out there next week with Nancy Grasmick. I am worried that I'm going to have to move through a bunch of lawn furniture to get into your joint next week, right?
There's some furniture out there, but it's coming. There was not too much right now, but it starts to go.
Steve, really a pleasure to have you aboard as one of our partners, what we're doing here this summer at Baltimore Positive. And a little background. I mean, I am very, very familiar with Jennings. I have not only Don Moeller, my friend Tom Capp lived in Catonsville 30 years ago. I mean, I drove up and down Bloomsbury, all the Blooms, all the Fredericks. My boy Pete and the tickets, were always at the foot of Frederick Road and GL Shacks and all those places, Bill's Music House and all that. But the current Catonsville, to me, is such an incredible thing, and this is coming from a Dundalk guy to go over there and say, boy, Catonsville's such a vibrant community and what's going on Frederick Road. And not only do you feel that way, you literally bet your life on it by buying Jennings a couple of years ago and buying sort of this already branded place that you were familiar with as a community resident, but a lot of folks don't even know of your involvement in there, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great community. This has always been a special place. I think Catonsville right now, the restaurant district, all the life that's been injected into it, and I still think there's a little room for some more life, but just this town is really thriving, and it's good to be a part of it. There's a lot of fresh things coming, a lot of the old stuff that's been here. So it's been good.
Well, I know Don and Jeff Moeller, everybody I know in Catonsville, and I have so many connections in Catonsville to people like you and Evan and anybody else that's over there. A lot of the business owners, a lot of residents, a lot of friends of mine out, and even on a Friday night. I mean, the festivals and stuff that's going on, but there's nothing quite like the 4th of July in Catonsville, right? As Moeller says, I ask him, hey, I mean, it wasn't foolish. I just said, hey, on the 4th of July, I'm going to come over, and he's like, that's a holiday here. We can't talk about that. I can't make any plans. I can't commit myself to anything on the 4th of July other than just being. And I think that's part of Catonsville. And look, I'm a Dundalk guy, right? So I've been to 30 straight Heritage Fairs. It's where I will be next Friday, right? It's sort of what I do as well, and my friends are getting together. It's a Dundalk homecoming. But Catonsville has that going on very much so on the 4th of July as well.
And it's the norm for these guys here, for everybody here. That's our norm. You line your chairs up, you get ready for this huge holiday, and this year it falls on a Thursday.
Which means you get to celebrate 2 weekends, right?
Yeah, it gives us a little extra bump. I think people stick around for the parade and everything, and that weekend, just to be a good, fun weekend, very festive.
Steve Iampieri here, one of our new sponsors from Jennings Cafe and Yumps. You get over there. We're going to be over there next Thursday with Nancy Grasmick for lunch. Stop on by me. I can't think of two better educators. The reason I love Nancy so much is that she knew John Stedman, so we're going to tell some Stedman stories as well. This is the 27th, first of many times we're going to be over at Jennings and hanging out, including on the 4th of July. I'm sure my wife and I will be in for a cheeseburger and whatnot, but your background's in golf, and I know you've listened to me and NST over the course, and by the way, we're celebrating our 21st anniversary this summer by doing nothing but Hall of Fame conversations. The whole month of July will be nothing but 30 years of talking to people like John Ogden and Shannon Sharp and Mike Messina and Cal Ripken and Brooks Robinson, and then just across the board for all the conversations I've had. And, for me, with, where we are going into July and the 4th of July and all that stuff, it's weird for anybody's golf clock, right, that 3 of the majors are over, and I know golf's been a big part of your life. You're a coach and a pro and you play and all that stuff. Pebble Beach and those shots make you want to go out and play golf.
It does. It does. Just watching those guys. Want you to get out there and compete again. It's one of the best tournaments from yesterday. My God. Gary Woodland put on a clinic. His blood was ice cold. Couldn't rattle that guy. That shot on 17 on Sunday night.
Well,
And then
Kepka
that
as
putt
well.
on
I
18.
mean, in pursuit, right? Like, that thing started, about the third, fourth hole, right? So right about 5:30, 6 o'clock, we're like, all right, it's on. I mean, we got 3 hours of this. This is going to be a good little food fight. Some guys kind of popped up, and Oosthuizen a little bit maybe here and then, and Rose just sort of faltered, right? And Woods was not a factor at all. But seeing a battle in prime time with the smocks on. I mean, nobody's out there really sweating. There's a breeze. There's all sort of traps and entanglements and deep grass and mistakes that can be made out there and treacherous, really, as a golfer. And seeing those guys navigate it the way they did, it's a pretty good Sunday night.
Yeah, it was an awesome Sunday night. Brooks is going to be in the run for it, the hunt for it. I think every time he goes out there right now.
He's so likable, man. He's like the opposite of Tiger Woods to me. He looks like he's not uncomfortable sitting and talking to people. You know what I mean? He seems more affable than most golfers that I remember who, especially when they lose at Pebble Beach in a major, have a little bit of prick in them afterward,
Yeah, well, he's grown up a lot. He's been humbled, and he's also seen some early success. So I think you learn from some of the greatest guys out there how to talk and how to know that next Sunday it could be all different. It's such a game of inches, and it's a game of feel, and that mental aspect. Those guys have that mental aspect mastered. Until they don't.
Well, there's where Tiger is, right? I mean, that would bring us right to the Tiger thing to say, where is he to be so incredible at Augusta on a course that he's played back and forth in his mind and looked so otherworldly 10 weeks ago, can't make a cut 3-4 weeks ago, and there's just a guy, right, literally at Pebble Beach in another place that he knows that course like the back of his hand.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tiger lost a lot of it when he had all those personal problems. I think he's got a long way to go. I think, he's still a great golfer when he's hitting the ball, but with the health issues that Tiger's had, the mental issues that I think he's going to continue to have, I don't know. It's not going to be that dominant Tiger anymore. It's just not.
Well, it's hard for anybody to be dominant, as we saw over the weekend. It is hard to play at that level, and what Brooks Koepka was doing is, otherworldly unto itself, even in not winning over the weekend.
Sure. I mean, what Roy did, Roy's still up there. There's a lot of guys. Xander's awfully, I mean, he played some good ball yesterday. It's exciting what's going on in the golf world.
Steve Iampieri joining us here from Jennings Cafe. We're going to be out at Jennings on the 27th with Nancy Grasmick as well as Don Moeller. New sponsors. Tell everybody about your place and your involvement in your place and leaving the world of being a restaurant sort of advisor. And I know you've opened a bunch of places. That was sort of your thing to saying, hey, I want to have a home base and I want to do it in an already established place in Catonsville.
Yeah, for the last 20 years I've been doing some restaurant consulting. Catonsville I knew when the opportunity presented itself. I looked at it and I just thought this was a great place to hang my hat, and do what I've been doing for everybody else, but to finally do it for myself.
What am I getting for lunch when I come in next week? Just
you're going to get one of the best crab cakes you can get in the States.
You're going crab cake with me right off the top.
Crab cakes, yeah.
Everybody wants to feed me a crab. I eat crab cakes 5 days a week, and everybody's got the best. And you know what the weirdest thing about crab cakes? And this is the truth. If you put a dozen of them in front of me, they're all different to some degree, right? Like crab cake is the unique thing to say. Like we're at Fadley's this week, right? And look, Nancy is famous for her crab cake, world famous. They're taking orders from all over the place. And I'm sitting doing television, doing some Baltimore Positive, and I said to them, what do you think of someone that puts pepper in their... And they both looked at me like, oh my God, you could not put a pepper in a crab. And yet I love peppers in crab cakes. And I love their crab cakes even though they don't have pepper. And you know what I mean? Like, so when you say Old Bay, when you say celery seed, when you say mustard, mayonnaise, what kind of breading, what's going to hold rolled it together, what your special thing was to shot, whatever the things you're putting in there. And then there's the meat itself, whether you're dealing Maryland or you're getting some crazy thing out of Asia in a can, right? That's been frozen down and shipped there. So you got all of that going on, but everybody does it different, right?
Everybody does it different. That's what's so great about the culinary world. Everybody puts a twist on it.
Now, are you fried or are you broiled?
I like mine broiled, but you can get it fried.
I'm going to get mine fried. I talk about this all the time. And that makes me left-handed, right? I mean, fried's maybe 15-20% demand it fried. Because if you don't demand it fried, in the skinny culture we're in, you're going to broil it. I know you will.
When you fry anything, it makes it a little bit better, I mean, but you can still broil it. It's that health component that people think they're getting.
I don't want to be healthy. When I'm coming to get a crab cake from you, and I had this argument last week. I mean, here I am with, the woman that goes around the world with her crab cakes, arguing with her, but not arguing. I'm like, my mom always made them a little crispier, so like a darker brown and that crunch on the outside. And I said it has sort of a bacon thing to it, and it's not gourmet. I mean, if you tenderly, gingerly, and I tell her the same thing I tell you or anybody else. If you send me a crab cake to go home with, I'm gonna flatten that out like a hockey puck, on a hot grill, and I'm gonna grill it up on the outside, and you're gonna get mad at me because then it's not, the Jennings crab cake anymore. It's me taking the Jennings crab cake and frying it, and that's heresy to the chef, I think, right?
No, not at all. However you want to eat it. That's my whole thing. We're a scratch kitchen, but however people want to eat it. People love doing a lot of different things, and a lot of people have a different a palate that's super sophisticated.
You use that word scratch. Tell me, I've been doing ads for 30 years, right? Like made from scratch or whatever. I don't know how many times I've said that, like literally in an ad or for many restaurants.
We bred our own shrimp. We bred our own chicken patties. We hand pat our burgers. We don't buy anything really frozen. And all of our sauces and all of our breadings and all of our mixes. Our cucumber salad. We're back there slicing them.
I love fried shrimp. If you're going to bread your own, I'm going to get that next week is what I'm going to get. If you do that, I want to try that. Because I'm a breaded shrimp. Everybody brags about their crab cakes. Bread me some shrimp. It's like fried chicken. I love fried chicken, right? Like, I got Royal Farms. I mean, right?
We have that.
I love fried chicken, and I love everybody's fried chicken. And I like that yours might be a little saltier. Yours might have a little bit more cayenne. Yours might be twice breaded. Yours, I'm into that. Yours might have a little more black pepper or some sort of white pepper on it or whatnot. I dig that. So, yeah, I mean, bread me some shrimp. That's what I need, Steve.
We got that. We do pot roast. Chicken pot pie is going to come back on the menu. We're getting ready to launch our seasonal summer menu coming up.
All right.
So it's exciting. We've got some fun stuff going on around here.
More exciting than the Orioles games are right now, I hope.
Yeah, there's a little bit of excitement, but that's it. There's one thing you consist. Well,
when Don's around, I'm excited about the Orioles, I must say.
It's just tough. They show glimmers of greatness, and then you get into the last innings, and he's throwing another loss again.
Yeah, when it's a 2-1 game in the 7th, I've seen our bullpen, so it worries me a lot. Hey, man, I'm looking forward to seeing you. We'll be out there next Thursday. We'll be out for 4th of July as well. We have new sponsors all over town. Jennings Cafe is one of them. Steve Iampieri joining us here. Former golf coach up at the Hall. My son went to the Hall, Perry Hall. I always drive that in. I got to give that. Come on over to Catonsville and see us. Nancy Grasmick and Don Moeller. What in the world could I learn about education with the two of them? I would start at the top. They've been trying to educate me all my life, Steve. So pull up a chair or a bar stool. We'll try to have some fun next Thursday, all right?
That's awesome.
You got it. Hit it straight this week. Steve Iampieri, Jennings Cafe, and Yomps out on Frederick Road. We'll be out there next Thursday. Our entire Baltimore Positive schedule up at BaltimorePositive.com. Mayor Jack Young joining us this Thursday at Fadley's for breakfast, 9 a.m. We're going to be doing that over there, staying until Fadley's opens officially right around 10 o'clock or so. Stop by, get some fish. I might take some rockfish home for my wife. Next Thursday, we will be at Jennings Cafe in Catonsville on the 27th. We're doing that at 11 a.m. with Nancy Grasmick. Don Moeller will be joining us, of course, for Baltimore Positive, my co-conspirator in all of that. And on the 2nd of July, we'll be back at Fadley's with Matt Gallagher and Ron Shapiro. Whew, boy. That's going to be a day. 10 until 2 p.m. We will be at Fadley's for lunch on the 2nd. And then, of course, I'll be back at Jennings and as well with our friends at State Fair over in Catonsville on the 4th of July for the parade. I got to tell somebody, maybe Jeff Moeller, somebody out there, Linda, will throw a chair out in front of State Fair for me. Hold me a seat. Or I'll be up on the roof somewhere. Nasty at WNST.net finds me. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. All of our WNST coverage brought to you by our friends at Strategic Factory. Creating your masterpiece. I got the orange cup with my hydrate in it so I can sweat it out on the yoga mat. But Strategic Factory has cups, hats, shirts. They made this shirt. They made this hat. They make things like this, and they're making some Baltimore Positive stuff for me, too, so I appreciate that. We'll get Keith on the program sometime very soon. Our beautiful Baltimore Positive tablecloth that we're going to take over to Jennings next week was created by our friends at Strategic Factory. That's what they do, and they put the branding behind it, teach you the best way. You know, they don't just sell you a pen or a shirt or a hat. They're showing you how to use it. Strategic Factory, our friends up in Owings Mills. Royal Farms, real fresh, real fast. We talked about fried chicken. I said earlier, I told Luke, it's been a couple weeks since I've had some Royal Farms fried chicken. I got to stop by. I got a Royal Farms 2 blocks away. Sometimes it kind of spoils me. It's my go-to. On the night when I don't have anything else going on, I know I got some Rofo chicken and some Western fries, and I'll leave the cooking to them. Come home, it'll be tasty. I can watch it with the ball game. Use your Rofo rewards card or the app when you pump your gas, and you'll be getting that chicken and those Western fries free of charge. I'm wearing my Hammer and Nails shirt. Father's Day was last weekend. I'm getting my hair cut, so I got my hat on. My hair is getting a little hippie right now. I'm shaving up tight, but the Man Cave is there, the ultimate Man Cave Nirvana in Owings Mills. It is Hammer and Nail. Stop by. I'm going to get the warm towel this week when I get the haircut with Faith, and she's going to want to try to shave me. I'm going to let the silver grow in a little bit. I've been trying to tighten it up. I look 100 years old when I let it grow out. I still look young and charming and debonair. So we'll see what Faith can whip up this week before I head to the beach. Baltimore Positive, nasty at WNST.net, and the buy a Toyota.com audio vault. 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world. Download, listen to what you want, where you want, when you want, including Ocean City this weekend, where I'll be on the beach. Listening to Come Sail Away for the 9 millionth time and trying to enjoy an alfresco evening with the lads from Chicago. I'm chased down JY this week as well. By the way, JY and Tommy Shaw and Dennis DeYoung will all be heard next month as part of our July Rock and Roll Hall of Fame series. That is week 3 of July. 31 days celebrating 21 years with nothing but Hall of Famers. That's the month of July here at WNST. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST. It's House in Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports, new sponsors, and 4th of July parades.